We'll make you
We'll
scream
make you
tonight
scream tonight
until our child is in your womb.
womb.
The Russian mafia twins said it with ice in their voices and fire in their eyes. And the black woman standing before them? She didn't flinch. This story gets darker, hotter, and more dangerous with every second. If you're ready to see how far obsession can go, keep watching. And don't forget to follow for part 2, because this ending, you won't see it coming. Moscow in winter doesn't forgive mistakes. Jemima learned that the second she stepped off the plane. The cold hit like a slap, sharp, bitter, the kind that makes your lungs tighten and your skin ache. She pulled her coat tighter, ignoring the stares from customs officers who looked at her dark skin like it was a question they didn't know how to ask. She was used to it. Black, American, woman. 3 things that made her an anomaly in a city built on old blood and older money. But Jemima hadn't flown 6,000 miles to blend in. She'd come to do a job. A very expensive job. The Volkov estate sat on the edge of Moscow like a fortress. High walls, armed guards, cameras that tracked every breath. Jemima's driver, a silent man with scars on his knuckles, didn't speak a word the entire ride. Just drove. Fast. Through snow-slicked streets and past buildings that looked like they'd survived wars. When the car stopped, Jemima stepped out and froze. Not from the cold this time. From the house. No, not a house. A palace. Stone, glass, power. It loomed over her like something out of a dark fairy tale. The kind where the prince doesn't save you. He devours you. Ms. Jemima Carter? The voice came from behind her. She turned, and her breath caught. A man stood in the doorway. Tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in all black like he was attending a funeral. Or planning one. His face was carved from something harder than stone. Sharp jaw, cold gray eyes that didn't blink, didn't smile, didn't soften. He looked at her like she was a problem he hadn't decided how to solve yet. "I'm Andrew Volkov," he said. His accent was thick, Russian, smooth, dangerous. "Welcome to my home." Jemima straightened her spine. She'd dealt with powerful men before. Collectors, CEOs, men who thought their money made them gods. Andrew Volkov was different. He didn't think he was a god. He knew he was. "Thank you for having me," Jemima said, keeping her voice professional, detached. "I'm here to authenticate the Fabergé collection as discussed." Andrew's eyes didn't leave hers, not once. "Of course," he said quietly. "Follow me." He turned and walked inside. Jemima followed. The interior was even more breathtaking. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, paintings that belonged in museums. Everything screamed wealth, control, legacy. But Jemima wasn't here to admire the decor. She was here for the eggs. Andrew led her down a long hallway. Their footsteps echoed. The silence between them felt heavy, like it had weight. Then he stopped, in front of a door. "Before we go in," Andrew said, turning to face her, "I need to introduce you to someone." Jemima frowned. "I thought I was meeting with you." "You are?" The door opened, and another man stepped out. Jemima's heart stuttered, because he looked exactly like Andrew. Same height, same build, same face, but different. Where Andrew was ice, this man was fire. His eyes burned, his smile was sharp, hungry. He looked at Jemima like she was something he wanted to consume. "This is my brother," Andrew said. "Damien." Damien stepped closer. Too close. Jemima could smell him. Leather, smoke, something darker. "Jemima Carter," Damien said her name slowly, like he was tasting it. "The famous art authenticator." "That's me," Jemima said, refusing to step back. Damien's smile widened. "Andrew didn't tell me you were so..." He paused, let his eyes drag down her body. Slow, deliberate, beautiful. Jemima's jaw tightened. "Mr. Volkov," she said sharply, "I'm here to work, not to be objectified." Damien laughed. Low, rough. "I like her," he said to Andrew. Andrew didn't respond. He just stared at Jemima. And for the first time since she'd arrived, she saw something flicker in his cold gray eyes. Warm, raw, unfiltered, uncontrollable. It lasted only a second. But Jemima felt it, felt the way both men looked at her, like she was the only thing in the room, like she was dangerous, like she was theirs. "Shall we?" Andrew said, his voice tight. Jemima nodded. They stepped into the vault, and Jemima forgot how to breathe. The Fabergé eggs sat on velvet pedestals, 6 of them, each one more exquisite than the last. Gold, jewels, enamel, perfection. She moved toward them instinctively. This was her world: art, history, beauty. She pulled out her tools: magnifying glass, UV light, calipers. Behind her, the twins watched, silent, still. Jemima worked for 20 minutes, checking hallmarks, examining craftsmanship, verifying authenticity. Everything was real, museum quality, worth millions. "These are genuine," she said finally, turning to face them. Whoever acquired these knew what they were doing. Andrew's expression didn't change. But Damien's eyes darkened. "Good," he said softly. "Then you'll stay." Jemima blinked. "Excuse me?" "For dinner," Andrew clarified. "To discuss the collection further." "I have a hotel. We insist," Damien interrupted. It wasn't a request. Jemima looked between them. 2 men, 2 faces, 2 different kinds of danger. She should have said no, should have left, should have trusted her instincts screaming at her to run. But she didn't. "Fine," she said. "Dinner." Damien's smile returned. Andrew's eyes never left her face. And Jemima realized something that made her pulse quicken. She wasn't the only one losing control in this room. Because as she walked past them toward the door, she heard it. A sharp inhale from both of them. At the same time, like her presence had stolen the air from their lungs, like something inside them had just snapped. And when Jemima glanced back, she saw it. The way Andrew's fists clenched, the way Damien's jaw tightened, the way both men looked at her like they were drowning. And she was oxygen. Dinner was going to be dangerous. Dinner wasn't just dangerous. It was a battlefield. The dining room stretched long and shadowed. 1 table, 3 chairs, candles that flickered like they were nervous. Jemima sat at the head, Andrew on her left, Damien on her right, both too close. She could feel the heat radiating off them, could hear their breathing, slow, controlled, like they were holding something back. "Wine?" Andrew asked. His voice was softer now, almost gentle. Jemima nodded. He poured, his hand steady. But she noticed the way his eyes lingered on her fingers as she reached for the glass. Damien leaned back in his chair, watching her with that hungry smile. "So, Jemima," he said, "tell us about yourself." "There's not much to tell." "I doubt that." She took a sip of wine. Let the warmth settle in her chest. "I'm an art authenticator. I travel. I verify expensive things for expensive people. That's it." "That's not it," Andrew said quietly. Jemima's eyes snapped to him. He was staring at her with an intensity that made her skin prickle. "You're more than your job," he continued. "You carry yourself like someone who survived something, fought for something." Jemima's jaw tightened. He saw too much. "I grew up in Detroit," she said carefully. "Single mother, no money. I put myself through school, built my career from nothing. That's what you're seeing. Survival." Damien's expression shifted, softened. "Respect," he murmured. Andrew nodded slowly. "You're remarkable." The word hit her harder than it should have. Remarkable. Not beautiful, not attractive. Remarkable. Jemima swallowed. "Thank you." The first course arrived. Food she barely tasted, because all she could focus on was them. The way Andrew's fingers traced the rim of his glass. The way Damien's knee brushed hers under the table. The way both of them looked at her like she was the only thing that mattered. "Can I ask you something?" Damien said suddenly. "Depends on the question." "Why aren't you afraid of us?" Jemima set down her fork, met his eyes. "Should I be?" "Most people are." I'm not most people. Damien's smile turned lethal. No, he said softly. You're not. Andrew leaned forward. We have a reputation, he said. In Moscow, in our world, people fear the Volkov name. I don't live in your world, Jemima said, but you're in it now. The air thickened. Jemima felt it, the shift, the danger. What do you want from me? She asked quietly. Silence, heavy, suffocating. Then Andrew spoke. Everything. Jemima's breath stopped. Damien leaned closer, so close she could see the flecks of gold in his eyes. We don't share well, he whispered. Never have. Everything we own completely. Territory, power, loyalty. But you? Andrew's voice was low, rough. We'll share you. Jemima's heart slammed against her ribs. Excuse me? Stay with us tonight, Damien said. Both of us. You're insane. Probably, Andrew admitted, but we haven't been able to think straight since you walked into our home. Damien's hand moved to her thigh. Gentle, possessive. You feel it too, he said. Don't lie. And God help her. She did. The pull, the heat, the way her body responded to them without permission. This is inappropriate, Jemima said, but her voice wavered. So is the way you're looking at us, Andrew countered. She was. She knew she was. Looking at them like she wanted to be devoured. I came here to work. And you did, Damien said. Beautifully. Now, let us show you our gratitude. This isn't gratitude, this is obsession, Andrew finished. You're right. We're obsessed. From the second you stepped through our door. Jemima stood, chest heaving, mind racing. I need air. She turned to leave, but Damien caught her wrist, gentle but firm. Don't run from this, he said. From what? From us, Andrew said, standing too. From what we could give you. I don't need anything from you. Liar. The word cracked through the room. Jemima yanked her hand free. You don't know me. Then let us learn you, Andrew said, stepping closer. Let us worship you. Let us ruin you, Damien added with a dark smile. Jemima's resolve cracked, just a little, because she'd been alone for so long, fighting for so long, surviving for so long. And these two men, dangerous, powerful, impossible, wanted her. Not her work, not her skills. Her. One night, she heard herself say. Damien's eyes blazed. Andrew's breath hitched. One night, Jemima repeated, voice steadier now. And then I leave. Back to my life. This never happened. Agreed, Andrew said immediately. Liar, Jemima thought. She could see it in his eyes. He had no intention of letting her go. Neither did Damien, but she didn't care. Not right now. Right now, she wanted to feel something other than control. Wanted to let go. Just once. Damien moved first. His hand cupped her face, a rough palm against soft skin. You're sure? He whispered. Yes. That was all he needed. His mouth crashed into hers. Hungry, desperate, consuming. Jemima gasped against his lips, and Andrew was there, behind her. Hands on her waist, mouth on her neck. She was surrounded, drowning. And she didn't want to be saved. They moved together. 3 bodies. One rhythm. Down the hallway, up the stairs, into a bedroom that smelled like leather and smoke and something darker. Jemima's back hit the mattress. Andrew loomed over her. Eyes molten. Last chance to walk away, he said. Jemima reached up, pulled him down. I'm not walking anywhere. And the twins lost every ounce of control they had left. What happened next wasn't gentle. It was raw, primal, overwhelming. Hands everywhere, mouths tasting, bodies claiming. Damien whispered filthy things in Russian against her skin. Andrew murmured reverent praise between kisses that left her breathless. And Jemima, she surrendered. Completely. For the first time in her life. Hours later, tangled in silk sheets, Jemima felt Andrew's hand rest on her stomach. Possessive. Territorial. We'll make you scream tonight, he whispered against her ear, until our child is in your womb. Damien's hand covered Andrew's. Until you carry our legacy, he added. Jemima should have been terrified, should have run, but she didn't. Because somewhere between Moscow and madness, She'd stop being just Jemima Carter. She'd become theirs. And they'd become hers. Mourning would bring consequences. But tonight she let them make her scream. Mourning came too fast. This is only the beginning. The twins think they've claimed her, but Jemima's about to discover just how dangerous their world really is. Don't go anywhere, because what happens next will change everything. If you're hooked, drop a comment and let me know you're ready for part 2. Jemima woke to warmth on both sides. Andrew's chest against her back. Steady heartbeat, slow breathing. Damien's arm draped across her waist. Possessive even in sleep. She should have felt trapped. Instead, she felt safe. Wrong. This was so wrong. She'd crossed every professional line, broken every rule she'd built her career on. One night, she'd said, but looking at them now, vulnerable, peaceful, almost boyish in sleep, she knew one night would never be enough. Not for them, not for her. Carefully, Jemima slipped out of bed. Her body ached, marked, claimed. She could still feel their hands, their mouths, their whispered promises in the dark. She found her clothes, dressed quietly. When she turned, Andrew was awake, watching her. Leaving? His voice was rough, mourning deep. I have a flight. Cancel it. Andrew, cancel it, Jemima. It wasn't a command, it was a plea. Behind him, Damien stirred, eyes blinking open, focusing on her. Solnishko, he murmured. Sunshine. Come back to bed. I can't do this, Jemima said, hating how her voice shook. Andrew stood, naked, unashamed, powerful. He crossed to her in 3 strides. Yes, you can. This was one night. That was before. Before what? Before we tasted you, Damien said, rising too. Before we knew what it felt like to have you in our bed, in our lives. Jemima backed toward the door. You don't even know me. Then stay, Andrew said simply. Let us know you. I have a life, a career. Bring it here. You're insane. For you? Damien's smile was sharp, dangerous. Yes. Jemima's phone buzzed. Grateful for the interruption, she grabbed it. Unknown number. She answered. Miss Carter? The voice was cold, unfamiliar, Russian. Who is this? Someone who knows you spent the night with the Volkov twins. Ice flooded her veins. How did you? We know everything. Where you're staying, when your flight leaves. How valuable you've become. Andrew's expression shifted. Lethal. He snatched the phone. Who is this? He snarled. Laughter. On the other end. Tell your brother, the Mikhailovs send their regards, and tell your pretty American toy, she just became our favorite target. The line went dead. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Then Damien exploded. Fuck! He slammed his fist into the wall. Once. Twice. Plaster cracked. Andrew remained still. But Jemima saw the fury in his eyes. Cold. Calculated. Murderous. What just happened? Jemima whispered. Andrew turned to her. You've been marked. Marked? The Mikhailovs, Damien spat. Rival family. They've been trying to destroy us for years. And now they know about you, Andrew finished quietly. Jemima's legs went weak. I need to leave. Now. Get to the airport. No. Andrew's hand caught hers. That's exactly what they want. You alone. Unprotected. I can't stay here. You can't leave, Damien said, voice hard. They'll kill you the second you step outside these walls. Then what do I do? The twins exchanged a look. One silent conversation. One shared decision. You stay with us, Andrew said. Under our protection. For how long? Until we eliminate the threat. Jemima laughed. Hysterical. Broken. This is insane. I came here to authenticate eggs. Now I'm caught in a mafia war? Damien's hands framed her face, gentle despite the violence still humming under his skin. We will keep you safe, he said. I promise you that. You don't even know me, Jemima repeated desperately. We know enough, Andrew said. We know you're brave, brilliant, strong. We know you make us feel things we've never felt, Damien added. We know we'd burn this city to the ground before we let anyone touch you. Jemima's eyes filled. You're strangers. Not anymore, Andrew said. They moved her within the hour. Not to a hotel, to a safe house on the outskirts of Moscow. Concrete walls, reinforced doors, armed guards, a fortress, a prison. Jemima stood by the window, watching snow fall over the city. Behind her, the twins coordinated security. Phone calls in rapid Russian, orders given, threats made. She never felt more out of her depth. Hungry? She turned. Damien held out a plate. Bread, cheese, fruit. Simple, thoughtful. I'm fine. Eat anyway. She took the plate, sat on the couch. Damien sat beside her, close but not touching. I'm sorry, he said quietly. Jemima looked at him. For what? For dragging you into this, into our world. You didn't drag me. I chose to stay last night. And now you're paying for it. So are you. Damien's eyes softened. You're worth it. Jemima's throat tightened. You don't mean that. I do. He reached over, tucked a braid behind her ear. Andrew and I, we've shared everything since birth. Power, territory, women, but they were transactions. Temporary. Meaningless. And me? You're different. He paused, searching for words. You're the first thing we've ever wanted to keep. Before Jemima could respond, Andrew entered. His face was grim. We have a problem. Damien stood. What? The Mikhailovs put a bounty on her. 2 million rubles. Alive. Jemima's blood turned to ice. They want to use her as leverage, Andrew continued. Force us to surrender territory. That's not happening, Damien snarled. I know. Andrew's eyes found Jemima's. Which means we need to teach you how to survive. The next 3 days were brutal. Andrew taught her awareness, how to read a room, spot threats, identify exits. Damien taught her violence, how to throw a punch, where to aim a knife, when to run. Jemima absorbed it all, not because she wanted to, because she had to. One afternoon, after disarming her for the 5th time, Damien pinned her against the training mat. You're holding back, he said. I'm trying. Try harder. The men who come for you won't show mercy. I'm not a killer. Then you'll die. Jemima's eyes blazed. She hooked her leg around his, used his weight against him, flipped their positions. Suddenly, she was on top, breathing hard, victorious. Damien grinned up at her. There she is. Shut up. He pulled her down, kissed her hard. When they broke apart, Andrew was leaning against the doorway, watching. Jealous? Damien called. Of you or her? Andrew countered. Both. Andrew crossed the room, pulled Jemima to her feet, into his arms. You're getting stronger, he murmured against her hair. I'm terrified. Good. Fear keeps you alive. She pulled back, looked between them. Why are you doing this? Really? Because we need you safe, Andrew said. Because we need you, period, Damien added. You barely know me. Then tell us, Andrew said simply. Tell us who you are. So she did. That night, curled between them on the couch, Jemima told them everything. Her mother's death, her struggles, her loneliness, her drive. The twins listened, really listened. And when she finished, Andrew kissed her forehead. You've been alone too long, he said. You don't have to be anymore, Damien promised. Jemima wanted to believe them, desperately. The break-in happened on day 4. 2 a.m., alarms shrieking, gunfire erupting. Andrew shoved Jemima into the safe room. Stay here. Don't open this door for anyone but us. Then he was gone. Jemima crouched in the dark, heart hammering, listening to chaos outside, shouts, crashes, more gunfire. Then silence, worse than the noise. The door handle turned. Jemima raised the gun Damien had taught her to use. Solnishko, it's me. She nearly sobbed with relief. Damien entered, blood on his shirt, not his. You're okay? I'm fine. Andrew's securing the perimeter. He pulled her into his arms, held her tight. We got one alive, he said quietly. He talked. And? It's someone inside our organization, feeding information to the Mikhailovs. Jemima's stomach dropped. Who? Damien's jaw clenched. Katya. My ex. Katya. The name hung in the air like poison. Jemima pulled back from Damien's arms. Your ex betrayed you? Yes. His voice was hollow, empty. Why? Jealousy. Rage? Pick one. Damien turned away, ran a hand through his hair. I ended things with her 6 months ago. She didn't take it well. Clearly, Andrew appeared in the doorway, expression carved from ice. She's in the basement, he said flatly. Waiting. Damien's fists clenched. I'll handle it. No. Jemima's voice cut through the tension. I will. Both twins stared at her. Jemima? Andrew started. She did this because of me. Jemima interrupted. I deserve to face her. She's dangerous, Damien warned. So am I. Something shifted in their eyes. Pride, respect, heat. Then we go together, Andrew said. The basement smelled like concrete and fear. Katya sat bound to a chair. Blonde, beautiful, bleeding from a split lip. When she saw Jemima, she laughed. Cold, bitter. So this is her? The American who made you both fools? Jemima stepped closer. Steady, calm. You tried to have me killed. I tried to hurt them, Katya spat. You were just collateral. Why? Because they threw me away. Her voice cracked, raw, desperate. I gave Damien everything. Years of loyalty, love, and he discarded me like I was nothing. Damien's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Katya's eyes found him. We could have ruled together, she whispered. You and me. We were perfect. We were convenient, Damien said coldly. Never perfect. Katya flinched like he'd struck her. Then her gaze slid to Jemima, venomous. What makes you so special? Your skin? Your accent? You're nothing but a temporary distraction. Jemima crouched down, eye level. Maybe, she said quietly. But I'm the distraction they chose, not you. Katya lunged forward against her restraints, screaming. Andrew's hand settled on Jemima's shoulder, grounding. What do you want to do with her? He asked. Jemima stood, looked at the woman who'd tried to destroy her, felt anger, yes, but also pity. Exile her, Jemima said finally. Katya's eyes widened. What? Damien breathed. Send her away. Strip her access, her connections, everything, but don't kill her. She tried to kill you, Andrew said, voice hard. I know. Jemima turned to face them. But I won't let this world turn me into someone who chooses blood over mercy. Silence. Heavy. Profound. Then Damien exhaled slowly. You're extraordinary, he murmured. Andrew's eyes softened in a way Jemima had never seen. Exile it is. Katya was dragged away, screaming threats, promises of revenge. But Jemima didn't care. She'd made her choice, and earned something far more valuable than vengeance. The twins' absolute respect. They took her to the rooftop. Moscow stretched below them, a sea of lights fighting against the darkness. Snow fell softly, melting on Jemima's skin. It's beautiful, she whispered. So are you, Andrew said. She turned, found both of them watching her. Not with hunger this time, with something deeper. Damien moved first, dropped to one knee. Jemima's breath stopped. What are you? We're not proposing, he said quickly, smiled. Not yet. Then what is this? Andrew knelt too. Both twins, on their knees, in the snow, for her. We're making a vow, Andrew said. To protect you, Damien continued. To cherish you. To fight for you. To build with you. Their voices overlapped. One promise. Two hearts. Jemima's eyes burned. Why me, she whispered. I'm nobody. Just a girl from Detroit who got lucky. You're everything, Andrew said fiercely. You're brave, Damien added. Strong, merciful, real. You make us better, Andrew finished. Jemima sank to her knees too, between them. I'm scared, she admitted. So are we, Damien said. But we'll be scared together, Andrew promised. Jemima reached out, one hand to each twin. Then let's be scared together. They pulled her in. 3 bodies, 1 circle. In the cold, in the dark, in the danger. They found warmth, found light, found home. Damien's lips found hers first, tender, reverent. Then Andrew's, possessive, devoted. We'll make you scream tonight, Damien whispered against her mouth. Until our child is in your womb, Andrew finished. Until our legacy lives inside you. Jemima should have protested, should have been terrified, but she wasn't, because somewhere between Moscow and madness, she'd stopped running, stopped surviving, started living. Then take me home, she said. And they did. What happened in that bedroom was different from the first night. Slower, deeper, more. Not just bodies claiming, souls merging. Andrew worshipped her with careful hands and whispered Russian endearments. Damien loved her with fierce intensity and broken promises to never let go. And Jemima? She surrendered completely, gave them everything she'd been protecting. Her heart, her trust, her future. Hours later, tangled in silk and satisfaction, she felt Andrew's hand rest on her stomach. Soon, he murmured. Damien's hand covered his. Our family, he said. Jemima's eyes drifted closed. For the first time in years, she felt complete, safe, loved. She fell asleep between them, not knowing what was coming, not knowing the danger wasn't over, not knowing that in 6 weeks, everything would change. 6 weeks later, Jemima stared at the test in her shaking hands. 2 pink lines, positive. Her other hand moved to her stomach instinctively. A child. Their child. The door opened. Andrew and Damien entered, laughing about something, faces bright. Then they saw her expression. Solnishko? Damien's smile faded. What's wrong? Jemima looked up, and tears streaming. We need to talk. She held up the test. Both twins froze, stared. Then Andrew moved first. Crossed the room in 2 strides. Fell to his knees, pressed his forehead against her stomach. Bože moi, he breathed. My God. Damien's hand covered his mouth, eyes wet. You're sure? He whispered. Jemima nodded. I'm pregnant. The twins looked at each other, then at her, and something fierce and protective and overwhelming blazed in their eyes. Our child, Damien said. Our family, Andrew finished. They pulled close, held the future growing inside her. For one perfect moment, everything was right. Then Jemima's phone buzzed. Unknown number? Again? She answered, dread pooling in her stomach. Congratulations, Ms. Carter. That cold voice from weeks ago? The Volkov heir grows in your womb. How fortunate. Jemima's blood turned to ice. How did you... We have eyes everywhere. And now? Now you're more valuable than ever. Andrew snatched the phone. Touch her, and I'll burn your entire bloodline to ash. Laughter. Brave words. But can you protect her every second? Can you stop what's already in motion? What are you talking about? Check outside your gates, Volkov. We left you a gift. The line went dead. Damien was already at the window. His face went white. Andrew. One word. Full of horror, Andrew looked. Jemima followed his gaze. Outside the gates, hanging from a street lamp, was a body, one of their guards. A message carved into his chest. The heir belongs to us. Jemima's knees buckled. The twins caught her. We need to move, Andrew said, voice lethal. Now. They're coming for her, Damien breathed. Let them come, Andrew snarled. We'll paint this city red before they touch what's ours. Jemima looked between them. The men who'd claimed her. The fathers of her unborn child. The warriors who'd go to war for her. What do we do? She whispered. Andrew's eyes met hers. Cold, furious, devoted. We fight. The war for Jemima and her child has just begun. The Mikhailovs want the Volkov heir. Andrew and Damien will destroy anyone who tries to take them. And Jemima? She's about to discover just how far she'll go to protect her family. This story is far from over. If you need part 2 right now, drop a comment and let me know you're ready for the battle ahead. Hit follow, because what comes next? It's going to be bloody. It's going to be brutal. And no one is walking away clean. See you in part 2.